you're not playing rooms like the Roxy much anymore, I would imagine.
So it's a real joy to play in those small rooms, and it also feels like family. Like it's really sweet. Like the kind of people that come to those shows are, they really like our band, which is awesome. But they're also the kind of slightly maternal or paternal fans. So like our tour manager in London walked past these two girls who can't have been more than like 16, 17 years old, who were like walking past, and they were like, "Oh, I saw Ted earlier. He looked really tired. I'm really worried." And it's like so sweet. So we're playing to a home crowd in that sense. When you take people's phones off them, you have their full attention. It's a nice vibe in the room, and it means that it stays private, but we still get to practice these songs live in front of an audience.
Did you find
strangers?
Sorry,
so it's cool. Yeah.
Did you find that the audience was maybe perhaps a little bit more engaged just because of that? Did you
Definitely.
find the energy in the room was better?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a very awkward kind of gig because no one's heard anything but one song, so it's no one's singing along. Everyone's kind of just looking at you, so it's quite like we're quite on display, which is it's totally bizarre. For a gig, which is a bit like when we first started. Except even when we first started, people were like on the phones, like boozing, and you had to get their attention. We've got people's attention. People really seem to be excited about it, but so it's quite intense.
And did you get feedback afterwards? How did you feel? I guess I think that's the most important thing. I mean, when you're perfecting those songs, how did you feel walking off the stage those nights?
Well, actually, for example, we did 2 shows in LA. And speaking for myself, like the first one was I performed badly, and the second one I thought I performed well. So before even the crowds. Sorry, I played fucking well. Yeah. Just as I am fucking humble. I'm fucking humble.
Are you the Ringo? Is that what's happening here?
Wow.
I'm kidding.
I am actually. I'll take it. Just don't leave me out. Yeah.
Well, it's just really cool to hear about that because it's just something that you go into these smaller venues and you see bands that you absolutely love, but everybody's got their phone up, and it was just kind of cool to hear that you guys did that and that people were into it. And the thing is, though, you said, Marcus, that people are kind of maternal about the band, and I wonder if that also passes through to the sound, which is a little bit different on this record, admittedly. And I know you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I've heard some people be like, I'm really, I'm worried about them, like we're on some sort of teenage rebellion. But we weren't willing to do the same thing again, even instrumentally, even if they're different songs. And we kind of grew up playing these instruments. Like he grew up playing electric guitar, I grew up playing the drums. So it's kind of weird that we're in a band that didn't really feature those instruments at all until now. Mm-hmm. So to us, it's perfectly natural to make this kind of step, and then we'll probably step away from that and do something else after that, because amongst the 4 of us, we're 4 songwriters and we're 4 multi-instrumentalists, which sounds quite precocious, but it's true. And we're 4 people with very broad music tastes. So I can imagine, hopefully, in the life of this band, making lots of different sounding records.
And that's
the first 2 established us in one way, but even all the talk about the banjo, because we experience it in interviews, right? So people come and ask us questions that they feel like they want to ask, which is totally understandable. But even the banjo, it's like, that's not the lead instrument. It's probably the most recognizable, but there's also a double bass on stage that it's like the largest instrument on stage. And really, we've been playing full drum kits and 4 songs in the set. Like there's a couple songs on each album which have full kits and electric guitars on them anyway. So, but they're not singles, and we haven't made videos for them. So they're less. So people who come to our live shows will probably understand the kind of the development a bit better.
Well, different songs call for it, different songs don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we always try to pick the instruments that kind of serve the song at the time. So.